Hello and welcome to How to Use Optima and to my kitchen. So Optima is your friend. If you use it regularly, it will help you keep track of everything and anything involving your case. And I'm here to share with you guys some tools about how to use it. So this is a document that we will share with you. It gets updated from time to time. So if it doesn't look exactly like this, that's why. But here is the actual website. You can actually find it on our website as well. And so this is going to be a really helpful physical tool for you guys to see. There's a lot of pages to it. It's not as complicated as this document might make it seem. And so I am just going to show you actually in Optima what you can expect to see on the screen itself. But just know that you can get to it via our website. Okay, so once you've gotten signed into Optima, your screen is going to look something like this. So obviously it will have the name of your case and not this very made up case, which some of you guys might remember from training when you go through volunteer orientation. This is actually one of the cases that we use as an example. So I'm not sharing with you any confidential information right now. But as you scroll down through Optima, you will notice at the bottom of the screen, there are various different tabs, and these are going to give you information about your case. The one that you're going to use the most is this contact log tab. And that is where you're going to put in anytime you are active on your case, notes about what you've been up to or what parties to the case have been up to. That's what you use that for. This to-do list may have what it sounds like, different tasks that your advocate supervisor needs you to complete. And that could include things like contact the child's teacher or request therapy notes. We don't use this tab, to be honest with you, very often, but you may have a supervisor that likes to use it actively. So just know that that's what that is. This associated parties tab, under this tab, you'll find the child's anybody who's kind of what it sounds like associated with this child. So for example, on this one, there's the attorney for the family or one of the parents, the attorney or the guardian ad litem for the child, caseworker, kind of what it sounds like. You guys can't make changes to this tab, and I won't go into why, but if there ever is changes, like maybe you find out that there's a new caseworker assigned or FSW, family service worker, you have to tell us who that is. So just send us an email so we can update that information, because unfortunately you guys can't really make changes to that. This document tab, and I'm sorry, under associated parties, we'll need to know the email, address, phone number, those kinds of relevant things. Under the documents tab, this is again what it sounds like. Right now there's no records in here, but typically you would find the referral packet, that document that says why kids went into custody, or it would have permanency plans, that document that spells out what the family and the children need to do to achieve permanency, different things like that you'll find there. Petitions and allegations. This is where you'll find your case's petition number. And within this tab, you can click on the magnifying glass on the icon to the right to find out more about what the allegations were made within the petition. And by clicking on the magnifying glass, the list of allegations is going to appear. Under hearings, it's kind of what it sounds like. The record of the court hearings associated with the case, that's where you'll find that. And really, we don't use services so much. Placement history is kind of what it sounds like. And that is where the child is actually placed. That tends to change throughout a case. But like you can see right now for Deshaun Blue, it's Emily and Lawrence Pedron Carey. And again, we have to update those. So send us contact information if you know that that is changing. So what your responsibilities in Optima are, generally is going to be, like I said, you're going to use this contact log one the most. And to do that, you simply click on add. These are really just to assist you guys in keeping track of your activity within the case. And when and if there is a time to write a court report, like a permanency plan hearing or a trial, these notes can be referred back to as a way to provide information for your court report. And they can be a really great way of communicating with your advocate supervisor and expressing any kind of questions or concerns that you might have, or next steps that you'd like to see happen on the progression of your case. Also, by writing the contact logs regarding your case activities, your supervisor will be able to know how you are progressing on the case without you guys having to send us emails. We actually get little notifications when you make these updates. So it just kind of saves you an email and helps you keep track of information. So contact logs should be completed after you've completed tasks pertaining to your case. And those examples could include attending a CFTM or a foster care review board meeting or a court hearing, or communicating with members of the team or other parties such as teachers, therapists, extended family members, those kinds of things. You don't necessarily have to write a contact log for activities such as like say you were to have a conversation with me or your advocate supervisor. You don't necessarily have to enter that. It's more so about things that have actually happened with your case. And it's okay to enter in like several attempts of contact as one contact. Like we don't need to know every time you left a voicemail or texted your caseworker or whatever. You could say, during this week or during this month, attempted 3 calls with the foster family, was unable to reach them, that kind of thing. We want this to be a helpful thing and not something that you guys see as a chore. It's also just really important for us to have these contact logs. So if say anything was to happen to you or to me or your advocate supervisor that you were no longer able to volunteer, if a new volunteer was to take over this case, they would have this history of knowledge of knowing what happened on the case. So it's super helpful in that way as well. So to fill this out, you just put the date of whatever happened. Whenever you do a contact log entry, we ask that you actually click on every child involved, even if the contact, maybe you talked to their teacher and they weren't even there. The idea is that any kind of time that you document, like say you talked to them for half an hour, the hope would be that that contact that you had with the teacher or whoever had a positive or impact on the child itself. So we like to keep a log of those hours so that we can say our advocates spent X amount of time in advocacy for these kids when we run our reports. So for activity type, you'll have a drop down, and these are kind of what they sound like. Maybe you want to document that you talked to me or your supervisor, or you did research, or you attended a child and family team meeting or a foster care review board meeting. That's where you would put these. And then the subject might be, I emailed the team. These are auto-populating because these are things that I often do. Whatever it is that you've done, you would put there. And whether or not you went to court, you would click there. The contact type is what it sounds like. And then you would put any notes. I like to use my talk to text and just send an email to myself, or that you can use the Optima app. And that way it's just sitting in an email waiting for me to copy and paste it into Optima. That's typically what I do and what's been helpful for me. So I'm not going to say this because this is fake. Another thing that I wanted to make sure that I show you is the actual, looking at my notes, my documents tab. Say you have something that you want to upload. You can even also upload, say you went to court or attended a meeting and you kept like handwritten notes that you just really didn't feel like typing again. You could put a contact log that says, see documents for handwritten notes, and you would upload your document here. And the way that you do that is you just say it was a CFTM. And then you add, and it'll go and try to find it from wherever you have it saved on your computer, and you make a note about that and the date, and then you save it. And that's pretty much the the documents tab in a nutshell. I'm going to cancel because I didn't actually do that. So the hearings tab is probably the only other one that you guys would use. And that is, like I said here, and there's nothing in here, but this is just where you keep a record of court hearings. And I add those when I think to do it, and foster care review boards as well. So you can click on that to know when those are happening. I don't always remember to put, just to be honest with you guys, the hearings in these. So you can always just, call me, text me, email me if you're curious about when a hearing is. More typically, I'll do an Outlook calendar invitation if I know about something and invite you to that. So just know that that's a little variance if you end up on my team. Case information, this is not something you guys can make edits to, this area, but you may notice if you're on my team that this is where I take notes to keep me just kind of at a glance. So when I'm clicking through all my cases, I can just know what I'm monitoring. So you might see some notes from me that say, monitoring, the next foster care review board is this date. Has this child gotten their mental health assessment? Has this parent received a screening lately? Anything like that, you might notice. That's just kind of how I do things. So I'm going to stop sharing here. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to let me know. Optima is so easy and it is your friend, and please use it. It makes your advocate supervisor's job so much easier. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Have a lovely day.